Hi guys, Lexie here, founder of the PR Bar Inc. And this morning I actually just published an article called What Journalists Do and Do Not Want Right Now. Right now, meaning what type of pitches do they want in the media landscape existing around the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, typically when people have questions, people being businesses or entrepreneurs or even other publicists, the person they turn towards when they want to know how to get press is other publicists or PR agencies, okay? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I myself fall within that category. However, because things are so different and changing right now, I wanted to skip the middleman, yes, that's myself, and go straight to the source. So that's what I did. I interviewed 7 different journalists and editors on what they do and do not want to be receiving right now. Okay, so the first person that I was lucky enough to interview was Erin Roman, and she is a reporter who currently lives in London for Bloomberg, okay? So when I asked her, what do you want to see in your inbox right now? This is what she had to say. COVID-19 is dominating the news right now, so the bar is set super high for stories that aren't related to the pandemic. But that does not mean we don't want to hear from you. It just means that your angle has to be super clear and be able to compete with the influx of virus-related headlines. Now's the time to be concise, creative, and enthusiastic. Remember, you pitch your story to the reporter, and the reporter has to go pitch it to their editors. Quick pause, did you know this? If you are pitching a writer rather than an editor, that writer has to then pitch their editor. So just something to keep in mind. She continues by saying, so the best thing you can do is create a pitch that is relevant to the reporter's beat and will help them make the best case for you to their editors. So help them nail their pitch, okay? When I asked Erin, what do you not want to see in your inbox right now? She said, I don't want to see long drawn out pitches. If I open an email that looks like it'll take me 5 minutes to read, chances are I'll be pulled into something else and won't get back to it. Being clear and concise is key. Also, do not bury your lead. Whatever idea you're trying to get across, make sure that's front and center. Priority will be given to COVID-19 stories that are relevant to my beat, but that doesn't mean just throwing in the term COVID-19, virus, or pandemic, or whatever, just to get attention is right. I'm a healthcare reporter and I see so many press releases that just throw in those keywords just to get our attention when the real story or company has nothing to do with the virus. That's a surefire way to make a reporter never take you seriously now or in the future when all this is over. I then asked Erin, any other tips on how the PR industry can provide value to you right now? She said, the most important thing is to do your research. Make sure you're reaching out to the right publication and the right journalist within that publication that covers your beat. The most annoying thing as a reporter is to get an influx of pitches that have nothing to do with my beat. For example, I'm a healthcare stocks reporter at Bloomberg, so the pitches I receive better have a clear money angle to it. Otherwise, it'll be a no-go. If your pitch shows that you know my work and what I'm all about, I'll be much more likely to engage with you. And if you're not sure you're reaching out to the correct person, just send a short email asking who would be the best contact. I never hesitate to direct reps to my colleagues. Now, I swear to all my students out there, no, I did not pay for her to say this, since you obviously hear me echo very similar sentiments inside all of my programs. This is just proof that what I'm saying is right. Okay, so the next person that I interviewed was Michael, who is a reporter with the San Fernando Valley Business Journal. All right, so when I asked Michael, what do you want to see in your inbox right now? He said, ideas for stories about how businesses are staying afloat during the virus crisis or helping the extended community, rather than falling apart or shuttering or offering deep discounts and sales, AKA advertising. When I asked him what he didn't want to see, short, sweet, to the point, he said, self-serving or superficial announcements from businesses. And then finally, when I asked him any other tips on how the PR industry can provide value to you right now, he said, PR agents, in my expertise, are at their best when they supply writers with thorough press releases, easy and quickly connect writers with the right people, and most of all, do not micromanage the interview between writer and subject by being on the phone line or asking a writer to email questions in advance. I value highly the PR agents who trust the process as well as respect my experience. Thank you, Michael. We really appreciate you telling us that. That's helpful to hear, even though I know some of us, including me, have been guilty of that. Next, I interviewed Christine O'Donnell, who has an incredible portfolio and is actually a featured bonus of my Pop Quiz Clean program. All my students get an opportunity to work with her one-on-one. She has an incredible portfolio of TV news. She also is a podcast host and founder of Bright Sighted Media. Now, when I asked Christine what she wanted to see in her inbox, she said, I want to see stories. I want to know the who, what, where, and how that leads with feeling and something that my audience will care about. Think about why my audience will care and orchestrate the pitch around that. Now she continues to give us a great example. Let's say there's a 26-week pregnant woman who has COVID-19 symptoms and went to the ER of your client's hospital. That hospital refused to test her because she didn't meet all the qualifications listed by the government. Her husband then drove an hour and a half away to another hospital where she immediately had to be incubated. She was so sick. She later tested positive for COVID-19. Now, if you had pitched me that story and had the contact information of the woman or her husband, they wanted to speak to the press about their story, and you had the contact information or statement from the hospital who's doing damage control and unfortunately was out of tests when the pregnant mom arrived or other said reason, and they were sorry this was happening, all of these things together would make for great TV news. So actually taking a step back, I think this goes to show you that TV reporters really, really appreciate when you fully bake out the story and do the legwork involved in getting all the contacts together for them. So if you can deliver all that on a silver platter, you're highly upping your chances. Now, I asked her the same question, what do you not want to see in your inbox right now? She said, random pitches that seem totally promotional, fair enough. Any other tips on how the PR industry can provide value to you right now? She said, say hello, let me know you like how I told the story. If I put something out there that was meaningful or uplifting or tragic and affected you so that you did something, let me know. Kindness will go a long way during difficult times. Share a little bit about how or why we might work together in the future, and I definitely will not forget you. So thank you, Christine, for being so candid and sharing with us that great example. Okay, next up, I interviewed Brianne, who is the editor and writer of itsbrieandben.com. She also freelance writes for publications such as Veg News and craftbeer.com. I first met Brianne back in Los Angeles when she was a writer for Viva Glam magazine. So she's been in the craft a long time and has written for a lot of different magazines. Now, when she said, when I asked her, what do you want to see in your inbox right now? She said, I'd like to see pitches about items or people that make life at home easier or more enjoyable during this time. We're open to discussing at-home fitness, hobbies, organization, and meal planning. Or we'd love to mention businesses that are making it easy for users to book travel with low risk, such as no change or cancellation fees. Now, she's referencing her site, which is itsbrieandben.com. When asked what she does not want to see in her inbox right now, she says, I do not want to promote non-essential items. Travel accessories, hiking gear, summer shoes, etc. Anything for the outside is not necessary. Finally, any other tips? She said, I'm always interested in hearing about small businesses, especially women-owned. I'm doing my best right now to support small businesses from all around the country as we've met so many wonderful business owners during our travels. If there's a way we can spread the word to encourage consumers to shop small right now, we'd love to be a part of it. So thank you again, Brie, for sharing that with us. Next up, I went to the East Coast, not literally, obviously, but virtually, and interviewed Vanessa Gordon, who is the publisher of East End Taste magazine. Now, she got really specific with us on examples when I asked her what she wanted to see in her inbox right now. She said, most importantly, I want to make sure that the publicist is not only familiar with my digital publication, but understands the voice, target audience, and content we publish. Particularly, I'm looking to feature real-world individuals, particularly chefs, restaurants on Long Island within the New York City metro area, as well as Southern Florida. Ding ding, if you're watching this and one of your clients or you are that, hit her up. Anyways, continuing on. I would also be interested in speaking with chefs and restaurateurs in London, as that is where many of my readers are based. I also love to see how small businesses are taking the initiative and helping their community. The pitches should have a COVID-19 angle. If not, these pitches are welcome, but may not be a priority as far as the publishing schedule. I do receive a high volume of emails daily, and I always recommend the following, and I always do recommend to follow up. I recommend putting follow up in the subject. If I see that you are following up, this shows me there is interest, and I'm always happy to help when I can. Now, when I asked her on the other side of things what she doesn't want to see in her inbox, she said pitches that are not sensitive or relevant to the current pandemic. I'm also particularly not interested in publishing any studies or pre-written content or interviews. All interviews should be completed organic and instead contain potential topic article titles and angles for your clients, potential feature and or article inclusion. And then finally, any other tips? She said, I always strongly recommend including a document in an email, either as a link or as an attachment that includes your current full client roster. Now this obviously, this is me speaking now, is if you are a PR firm or a publicist with multiple clients. She continues by saying, even though I may not be working on a relevant article at that particular time, I like to add these bits of information to my file so that I may reach out directly accordingly when I have an opportunity or appropriate story that either I'm writing or one of my other writers is working on. So she just gave us a lot of specifics. So if she is one of your target writers, rewatch that section or read my articles and you'll know exactly what she wants to receive right now. All right, moving on. Now we have Natalia, who is the writer and editor for two outlets, Style Tones and You Beauty. When asked what she wants to see in her inbox right now, she said, providing useful information about brands that consumers and businesses can use at home or remotely is the primary focus right now. However, not every product needs to be perfect for isolation. Life continues at home for many people despite the isolation change, so we need not hear about how a moisturizer is perfect for home use. We know. It's okay to simply send new releases and product guides without angling for a COVID story. Fair enough. When asked what she doesn't want to see in her inbox, she said, in the same vein, asking whether we're working on any stories about DIY or at-home projects is unnecessary. We are. It would be more useful to simply send a note with any experts that may be available for quotes instead of starting a back and forth. Now, she's the third writer who has mentioned the same vein, so I'm starting to see a theme here. Okay, and then finally, the seventh person I talked to is a freelance writer. She writes for outlets such as Total Beauty and more local publications around the Los Angeles area. And when I asked her what she wanted to see in her inbox right now, her name is Julia Steer. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. She said, pitches about relevant topics, including if a business is stepping up to help the community during this time, new experiences people can have at home while self-isolating, new and inspiring products that can help people relax and look after their mental health during this time. What she doesn't want to see? Please don't pitch me the same story or product 3 times in a 2-week span. Fair enough. And then any other tips? She said, I am actually really appreciating getting pitches and press releases right now. As a writer for many different outlets, since she freelances, I need to constantly be pitching new stories and learning about new products. All right, so that right there was straight up responses from the media. So if you are curious whether or not you should be pitching or what you should be pitching, there you have it. Obviously, this is just a small selection. However, they do represent a wide variety of different types of outlets. Now, if you want to read this article or reference it back without this video, you can visit the article by looking in the show notes below. Also, if you want to work on really up-leveling, reach out to me, look into my programs. I have 2 programs. One is called Pop Fizz Clink. This is how you learn to rock the world of PR like a pro. I also have a pop-up program coming in May. So if you see this before May, it's still relevant. And that's How to Get Press Now. Both of these are available at theprbarinc.com. If you're watching this later, you can always go back to my website and see what programs are currently offering. So again, everything I shared is what journalists and the media do and do not want to receive. So listen up and stay well. Hi guys, Future Lexie here, editing this video. And if you made it to the end, I am totally going to call this out in case you noticed it, but my sleeves in this entire video, yeah, they're whack. Sorry about that, should have adjusted it.